Hello, good evening. Welcome to my live on YouTube. And today is Saturday, the 5th of July, and it's 8 o'clock in the evening, UK time. I haven't been live for a little while because I was away. I've been on holiday. I went to Glastonbury, as I do most year, and that's why. But I'm back now, and so I'm going to hang around a little bit, and hopefully there'll be enough interactions for me to keep going for maybe 1 or 2 hours. And essentially what I do, I take questions to do with mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, psychology, human behavior, relationships, any of those things. I'm a therapist and coach myself, and I do my best to use my free time whenever I can to come here, both on TikTok and YouTube, to give advice to anyone who needs it. And so, here I am. Reborn, hello Reborn. How was Glastonbury? Did you think it has become too political? Not at all. It was always political. Glastonbury has always been political. When it started, it was called the CND Festival, and that stood for Campaign of Nuclear Disarmament, or something like disarmament. And so it was always political. Music has always been political. Think about hip hop, punk, and so it has always been political. However, the mainstream media wants you to be outraged at something and to look in the wrong place. People are going to say artists, musicians should stick to their job and just sing songs instead of sharing their political views. But this is wrong. It's people trying to gaslight people into silence, essentially. But everything in life is political. Everything that we do or say or allow are going to create or allow more of something. And so yes, Glastonbury even has a tent called the Left Field Tent, and it's a tent where they have some political debate all day long. It's hosted by Billy Bragg, and it's been a staple of Glastonbury for a long, long time. And so Glastonbury, very political. It's absolutely fine. It has always been, it will always be, and it's a good thing. We even had people like Jeremy Corbyn. He went to speak there a few years ago, and it was very special to see him addressing such a large crowd and basically talking about austerity and all of those things. So, yeah. Reborn, how many people did attend? It's always full. Glastonbury is always... so before I continue like that, I want to just remind people who are new to my channel, if you are playing this on replay, or even catching it now, I'm a therapist and I'm a coach. And my main topics are anything to do with mental health. So I'm happy to talk about other stuff because I'm also a human being, and there are always ways to talk about anything from the psychological perspective. But I want to make sure people understand that this is the purpose of this channel. Now that I've said that, let's go back to Glasgow. It's always full. It sells out every year in 20 minutes or something like that. And so I'm very lucky to somehow get tickets to go back there. And I've been going pretty much every time, more or less, since 2002. So yeah, I'm very lucky. Kenzie Flute, hi. Hello Kenzie, how are you doing? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start to read some of my posts that I've put out on TikTok and YouTube and comment on them. And hopefully, by the time I finished, I will have inspired some of you to ask me questions about you. Let's get started. First post. If you don't take care of your mental health problems, they will become someone else's too. And so this is very important to realize that whatever we are, whichever behavior we carry, whatever we say, whatever we don't say, impacts our world, our reality, and the people around us. And so if we have some mental and emotional baggage, this will impact others just as well. The more we are struggling with something, the more it is urgent to really address ourselves, because it's not just about us, it's also about how we influence, affect everyone else in our reality, at home, at work, and in our neighborhood. Next, to be grateful of what you have, you must first stop looking at what others have. So this is a post about gratitude. And it's realized that as long as we keep comparing ourselves with others, we can never really appreciate what we have, because there's always going to be people who have more than you, but also people who have less than you. And so it doesn't really matter. Everything is relative. There's always more and always less. And we happen to be just somewhere. And so what matters is not where we are. What matters is the attitude that we have in regards to what we already have. And so if we can learn how to be appreciative and grateful for what we have, now we can make the most of what we have. And as we do that, we are elevating our vibration. We are framing our mind so that we are more optimistic and focused on opportunities and good stuff. And as a result of that, we literally create more goodness, abundance, and happiness for ourselves. And so this works at a psychological level, but also from an energetic level, if we believe in the law of attraction, or things like that. There are just different ways to explain the same thing. Your general attitude towards things are going to create your reality. And so gratitude is the special superpower, the magic power that gets us to turn whatever that we have into something good. Because if you think about it, there's nothing else, as far as you're concerned at this point in time in your life, than what you have. You don't have anything else. What you have is what you have. That's it. And then, if we are not satisfied with what we have, and we just want more, then we're going to create an energy, a feeling, emotions that are to do with scarcity, lack, frustration, despair. And those sort of emotions, feelings, and energies are going to affect the way we experience and shape our very reality. And so, yes, if we can learn how to appreciate what we already have, then we never need more than that. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't want to, we can't want more. This is, I believe, the best thing. If we can appreciate what we have and want more at the same time, now we're onto something. Now we can go on a journey of continuous growth and abundance. And so, yeah, so that was a post about gratitude. And the next one goes like this. Whatever they think of you lives in their mind. It doesn't have to live in yours too. So basically, this is about insecurity and the worry of what others may think about us. And I want you to realize that whatever people think about you, more often than not, is not what you think they think. We just imagine some stuff, we fantasize, we project. And the reality is that people spend most of their time thinking about themselves anyway. They're worried themselves about what others think about them, so they won't have much mind space for you anyway. And if they do, if they are judging you indeed, they're not judging you. They're judging the version of you that they have of yourself. They don't know you, so they're just assuming something. They're projecting their own insecurities over you. They're going to decide that this is who you are, and they're going to judge that. And so you are their mirror. And they are, in a sense, judging their own selves. So if you can realize that, then you never need to worry about what people think about you, because it's not even about you. If you think about it, we are spending our life trying to find out who we are. So we don't even know who we are. So how can anyone else know, right? So that's a great way to make our life easier if we are worried about what others think of us. Okay, let me read the comment and see if there's any question yet. Reborn, is Glastonbury music therapeutic? There's no such thing as Glastonbury music. Glastonbury is a music festival with all sorts of music, and with all sorts of different acts, bands, singers, performers, and so yeah, you go and see the things that you like, and so maybe in that way it's therapeutic if you enjoy yourself, right? But it's not any genre of music that you would find in any other festivals. Reborn, do you think that appreciation/gratitude is a matter of age? Not necessarily. So basically, it's true that for many of us, as we get older, some of us, not everyone, but some of us, we have more ability to develop some sort of wisdom and practice more gratitude. But it depends on so many factors. If we are dealing with some mental and emotional imbalances, if we have some unresolved business from the past, it's not going to happen. And so basically it's a skill. And also, reversely, there are some children, so young people who are lucky enough to have been taught by their parents that there was such thing as gratitude. And so to them, it would be more easy and natural to practice gratitude all throughout their life from the beginning. But it's true that at a general level, we tend to find it easier to practice gratitude if we have not been traumatized and hurt and consistently suffering from depression and anxiety all of our life. Then it's easier to realize that indeed what I have is what I have, and I must find a way to appreciate what I have instead of looking elsewhere. And as we do that, this is the beautiful paradox. As we appreciate more of what we have, the universe is going to give us more of the same sort of things because we are generating that sort of vibration, that energy, that frequency. We come from a place of lack, and we radiate lack and scarcity. The universe will give you more, will give us more things for us to feel like about. Right? But if we appreciate little things, then the universe will give us more things for us to feel appreciative of anything. And this is the secret. If you can practice gratitude with the littlest things in your life, now you're developing a skill. And what it means is that when you have bigger things, you will enjoy them even more, as opposed to being jaded with the little things and only seeking the big stuff. If we can only find satisfaction in the big, intense things, then it means that we have some problems here. And we need to rectify this because there is joy, happiness, peace, hope, and inspiration in every little things. Now, they exist. And it's for us to develop a mind, a detective mind, to search for those things so that we can be better at recognizing all the goodness that exists already in our life. John, grateful from Boston. Okay. Hello, John. And I'm glad that you are grateful from Boston. Reborn. I am planning to become a part-time cab driver. Some people laugh silently about me. Does that matter? Why? No, it doesn't matter. There will always be people who will laugh and judge you. And it's similar to what I was saying about when we worry about what others people think of us. It doesn't matter. Everyone has opinions. And so, just like Dirty Harry said in the 70s, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has got one. So it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you focus on what you prefer or what you feel is right for you and enjoy your life one moment at a time. There will always be naysayer, negative people, trolls, and this is the state of the world. If you react to them, it's because there's a part of you that believes that what they say is true and important. Right? They are not. The only reason why you feel bad about some people who may be laughing at you, if you do, is because they're activating some insecurity that exists already within you. And so you may want to address this and realize, I'm reacting to this, why? And you may remind yourself, it's just silly, it doesn't matter. Again, Dirty Harry, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has got one. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. There are zillions of people out there. And some people will always find ways to criticize others because this is how they function in society for XYZ reasons. And so don't give them power. If you give them attention, if you think about them, if you're wondering what they think of you and whether or not it's important, now you're giving your power away. You're giving your happiness away. And they're living in your head rent-free. And there's no need for that. And so, no, it doesn't matter. Focus on what you enjoy, and I wish you all the best with it. Peter Jones, are you from Ireland? No, I'm not. It's funny because someone asked me that already a little while ago, and I never understood why. Generally speaking, people assume that I'm Japanese or some part of Asia. But or maybe Canadian because I have a French accent, but Ireland, that's very surprising for me to hear. No, I'm not from Ireland. I was born in France, in Paris, a long time ago. My genetics are Chinese, and I've been living in London, in the UK, for 28 years now. Reborn. Some people I know expect big things and always look unhappy. Is there a way to tell them the right way? You don't need, you can talk to them and share how you feel about things, but at the end of the day, everyone is here to experience their own journey. And so it doesn't matter. People do what they do. If they're listening to you, if you have a conversation and you want to try to influence them, give them something positive, tell them, have you thought about practicing gratitude, practicing mindfulness, practicing appreciation, practicing enjoying the little things now, because this is a game changer. So you may want to have also this discussion with them. But whether they respond to this or not, doesn't really matter. This is their journey, their adventure, their story to discover as they go through their own life. But as general advice, mindfulness, the practice of mindfulness and meditation and presence are very, very important. And everyone should really learn how to apply those skills in their life sooner than later. Julia Dream. But just one more thing. As you are living your life in the way that you are, whatever energy that you radiate is going to impact them. We all influence one another all the time. And so if you're in a place of peace and happiness and serenity, some people may ask you, how do you do that? How come you're like that? And that's when they will listen to you and they may be inspired by you and follow your steps, your systems afterward. But we really must remind ourselves that we are not here to change others. We're not here to fix people. We're here to do our best to find joy and purpose and expansion within our own life. And if we can influence others as we're living our life, that's a great thing to do. But it's not our job, our mission to fix or change others. We want to help everyone, it's very important. But people only get helped when they're ready to be helped. It's not something that we have a say about anyway. Julia Dream, you have a very nice voice, so soothing. Thank you so much, Julia. It's very kind of you. I appreciate. Jen Stevens, I'm so happy to get to catch a live today. Fantastic. Hello, and thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, Jen. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about? I'm happy to cover anything at all. What I'm going to do, because I'm only just started, I'm going to read and comment on 3 more of my posts, just to give you an idea of the things that I talk about. And for those who are new to my channel, hopefully by the end of it, you'll be able to maybe find some courage to ask me something about your own life so that I can help you with it. Okay, first one. Hardship doesn't build resilience. It reveals what you are made of. Stop glorifying hardship. It was always you. So that post is about really emphasizing that we need to stop believing that we have to be resilient, strong, tough, brave. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And it's just not true. A lot of things don't kill us, and they don't make us stronger either. Trauma doesn't kill us necessarily, for the vast majority of us, and yet it doesn't make us stronger. Depression doesn't kill us, for the vast majority of us, and anxiety either. But it doesn't make us stronger either. A lot of people believe that you must go through hardship in order to become better. You build a stronger character through hardship and adversity, and it's not like that, not at all. What happens is that you always have that power within you, and it's just that whenever you are facing certain situation, now you can see what you are made of. And the reason behind this is because it's very important not to, again, glorify hardship. You must work hard, you must try harder, hard. And as long as we believe that, we are adding some unnecessary stress, tension, and pressure into our life. When things could be much more easy. Instead of thinking, I must try harder, think about enjoying what you do and have a break and get back to it whenever you're ready for it, for instance. Next post. You can't start a new life with old habits. So this is to emphasize that if we want to change any aspect of our life, we don't need to change ourselves. All we need to do is to find what sort of habits we need to upgrade a little bit, more and more so every day, so that we can eventually change that aspect of our life that is to do with that habit. And by habit, I mean all sorts of habits. We have habits of thoughts, habits of emotions, feelings, and sensations, and habits of actions, reactions, and non-actions. And so whatever habit that you have is just something that we have established over time because it has worked for us up to this point, because that's what we've been taught. But if it doesn't work for us, then all we have to do is to change, is to create a new, better habit. And eventually, with repetition, 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 by virtue of repetition, we're going to replace the old negative habit with a new, better, more empowering habit instead. Just like that. We don't need to hate ourselves. We don't need to be ashamed of ourselves. We don't need to force anything. We don't need to believe that we are broken, that there's something wrong about ourselves. All the bad stuff that we are dealing with in our life, such as the thoughts and the emotions that we have, they are no more no less than habits. And those habits, we have put most of them in place ourselves when we were children. We just forgot to upgrade them. And finally, the last post. The problem with being the strong one is that no one can tell when it is your turn to get some help. And so many of us, we identify ourselves as the carer, the person who is looking after others. Very often in a family setup, we have some predetermined subconscious role within the family. And so if we believe that we are the carer all of our life, we're going to see ourselves like that. This is going to be our sense of identity. And as a result of that, we're going to always help everyone. The sad thing about it is that we need some help at times. But because we see ourselves as the helper, we will not ask for help. And we suffer from that. So many people that I looked after who are people pleasers, who are the carer, they feel horrible because they want some attention as well. They don't want to, they're tired of always having to be strong and to look after everyone. They like to be vulnerable and to be helped, to be supported, to be hugged, to be given a break every now and then. And so if that's you, I want you to know that you don't have to be strong all the time. You can be strong, you can be vulnerable, you can be sad, you can feel tired, you can be overwhelmed, you can feel hopeless and helpless. It's okay. We're all human, we go up and down, and we can ask for help because we are people. And people are creatures of are pack animals. We thrive in herds, and so we need people. And so we're all different, with different strengths and talents, and this is what society is about. So make sure that if you feel a little bit lonely or lost, if you need some care, some love, some help, seek help. There are a lot of people out there who would love to help you. Right? That's it. Now I'm going to go back to the messages, and hopefully we're going to have some last conversations. Reborn. Yes, catching Didi on live stream is great. Thank you so much, Reborn. PM. Hi. Meditation benefit. Okay, so there are tons of benefit to that. It's more about meditation as a lifestyle, and there are lots of different types of meditation. And so it's not like you have different meditation that you're going to choose, as in, do I want to do a meditation that's going to do this or that or that? It's about what type of meditation are you ready to practice at this point in time in your life. And so as we practice meditation, we can explore different type of meditation. But essentially when we meditate, we are looking inward. So we are tapping into all of our resources that are all there. We tend to be confused, we tend to be overwhelmed because we look outside all the time, and there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of expectations, and all of those things are creating tons of pressure. And we forget that all that we need in order to navigate through this world exists inside of us. And so by looking inward, now we are having a break from the outside, and we're resourcing with our intuition, with our inner being, with our direct dial to the universe. And we may find the answers, the tools that we need in order to deal with whatever we need to deal with. And so there are different ways to look at it. From a neuroscience perspective, when you practice meditation properly and regularly for at least 8 weeks, you're literally changing the state of your brain. We've done tons of research about it, and it's absolutely amazing. So basically, you are learning how to make the most of your brain, depending on whatever that needs to be regulated. You are able to basically spend less time overthinking and be more present. and have more mental clarity, and create more inner peace in your body, in your heart. Feel more safe, feel more whole, more connected, reconnect with hope, with optimism, and with imagination, inspiration, and all those things, intuition. There's so many things. It depends. What you want to realize is that meditation is like a gym of the mind, essentially. And so, what do we do at the gym? It depends. There are a lot of things that you can train. You can train for sport performance. You can train for looks, for health, for strength, for speed, agility, for motor coordination, motor skills or coordination. And so that's what I'm trying to say. Meditation is just one big word that encompasses so many things. However, for you to find out how it's going to help you, I need to know about you. And I can tell you in regards to your circumstances, your priorities, how and why meditation will be helpful to you. Right? I hope it makes sense. But essentially, meditation is a protocol of mindfulness. And mindfulness is about learning how to be present, to be here in the present moment fully, as opposed to thinking about the past or the future. And so when it comes to mental and emotional health, it's very, very important, because when we suffer from anxiety, when we're worried about things, when we overthink, we are in the future. When we are angry at some things that happened to us, when we are believing that we are not enough because of some limiting belief that we have not upgraded, we're still in the past as well. And the reality of that is that there's only now. There's no such thing like the past or the future. There's not a physical place called the past that we can return to. And there's not a physical place called the future that we can ever arrive to. We're only ever here in the now, in the present. And so if we can bring our mind where our body is, in this moment, right here, right now, no fear, no doubt, no anxiety, no worries, no anger, none of those things. Because right here, right now, it's all fine, everything is hunky-dory, and that's it. Learning how to do this first protect us from from our mind going out of control and creating all of those problems for us. Most of our problems come from our own fault. So that's one of the ways to look at it. But even from when it comes to physical health, there's a lot of things that meditation can absolutely help as far as your physical health is concerned. And also meditation can help you address some aspect of you, and there's a spiritual aspect of it as well. And so if you're into spirituality, as you meditate, you can explore a lot of different interesting perspective of reality. Jen Stevens, you good, sir. I would like to talk about the way that you have helped me be able to look at myself and not be mad, and how much I appreciate that. All right, thank you. So what would you like to know about this? So tell me, ask me a question, please. The way that I function is through questions. If you can give me a short bullet point, concise question, that will give my brain a clear direction to go to. But I'm glad that somehow whatever I've done has helped you. I'm very happy with that. Thank you so much. PM. Hi, meditation for benefit. I do every day as I'm having stress all day. Okay. So we can talk about it. What sort of meditation do you do? What do you call meditation? So if you're stressing out, meditation is a great way to create a space that is stress-free. But if you stress out, meditation in and of itself will not help with your stress, because the reason why you stress out is because you have some subconscious triggers that get you to react whenever you are coming across a cue. So the world is full of cues, and it can be visual, sound, smells, it can be thoughts, it can be feelings, or any of those things and more, and they all trigger all of our subconscious buttons that we are put into place. And if we get stressed out, it's because we believe that we must react to those things. And so for some of us, if we have had trauma, for instance, if we have any condition, we're going to stress out more because we're going to be more hypervigilant. If we suffer from anxiety, same. But for many of us, it's not even that. It can be just the belief that I must stress out because everyone is stressed out. And because of that, everyone is stressed out. If you go in the street 6 o'clock Everyone is rushing, get stressed out, trying to get home quick. And you can really tell that energy from just feeling it being next to them. And it doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to be stressed out. We can learn how to create a space between us and the source of stress. First, we want to minimize our exposure to it, but also we can absolutely not let the stress in. It's possible. So we can talk about this if you want. Reborn. Something I have learned from my restaurant is that hard work doesn't translate to making more money. Would you agree? Yes, absolutely. Hard work doesn't do anything. Hard work makes only makes your experience feel harder. That's it. Hard work doesn't make you better. People are using the wrong terminology. Hard work, if hard work was going to give you more success and money, people who have free jobs would be very rich, and they're not. And as I always say, women in Africa, they'll be billionaires because they work so bloody hard just to do the most basic things. And so hard work doesn't translate. The reason why we believe that is because people want us to believe that. So we keep on working hard. And essentially, if we have to work hard, it's because we are essentially doing the job of someone else. We're doing something but they don't want to do. So they're telling us, don't be lazy, you must work harder if you want to be successful, and everyone fall into that trap. It's a capitalism limiting belief. What we want to do is to work smart, or even better than that, we want to enjoy what we do. If we can find something that we enjoy doing, we never need to work hard. Now, not all of us can do this straight away, but we can all organize some strategy over some period of time where we're going to change our career, change our life, so that we move on from something that is just paying the bills to something that we love doing. And if you love doing something, you never work hard. You may work a lot, but it doesn't have to be hard. I think that's what a lot of people conflate. For something to happen, for us to become better at something, we need to spend a lot of time doing it so that we become better at it by sheer virtue of repetition and neuroplasticity. But it doesn't have to be hard. If you're passionate about something, then you need to think about it all the time. And so what it means is that you will not only practice what you love doing when you do it, but you will even practice it when you're not doing it, when you're thinking about it, when you are sleeping and dreaming about it. And so your brain is still growing in that direction, even if you don't do it, if you love something. The brain doesn't make a difference between what is real or remembered or imagined. And so if you visualize yourself doing something, you will become better at that task as well. And that's why some people are so good at what they do, because they're obsessed, because they love it, think about it all the time. Just like me, with my psychology, mindset, and spiritual stuff, I'm obsessed with that. I think about it all day long. I talk about it all day long to everyone and anyone that comes my way. I write book about it, I create content, I look after my clients all week long, and I love it. And that's what I do for fun and pleasure and entertainment as well. I found my thing. But thanks to that, I know that my mind keeps on expanding and to a great deal because I've been obsessed about this for so many years. And for me, it's easy. I never work hard. Sometimes, if I have some problems with my body, if I can't sleep or things like that, if I have some bugs or virus, I'm going to be tired and I need to break. Right? But I never work hard. I think about those things. I essentially work 24/7, pretty much. And so a lot of people tell me, Didi, you deserve to be successful. You are working so hard. And I always tell them, I'm not working hard at all. Don't get it wrong, mate. I'm enjoying what I do. I would do it for free. I'm not saying that, that I'm going to give everyone free session, but I actually do that. I do help a lot of people, and even me coming live on YouTube and TikTok, it's me giving my free time, giving my knowledge, my expertise for free, because I can, because why not? And so there you go. And so don't work hard, work smart, and also most importantly, find something that you love. Create a lifestyle that supports your journey in this realm of existence. You're not here, you don't come into this planet, in this life, to pay the bills. You come here to experience something, and that experience would be optimal if you can align your actions with who you are meant to be, who you are meant to be. You should be allowing yourself to express yourself and tap into that special skill and talent that you have, that we all have. We're all born with something. Just 1 second, please. I'm going to put the fan on because it's a bit stuffy here. Summertime in London is always a tricky one because most houses are not designed for heat, and it's the case with where I live. So it's an old building. So there you go. So there you go. What do you think about this reborn? Laser dog, do a 1-arm push-up. No, I won't. I don't think that is the place for me to do such thing. Angela Ramsey, hello Didi, hello Angela. PM, breathing mindfulness benefit, for example. So, when you breathe and you are mindful of your breathing, you're doing this to basically reset your nervous system. We have 2 states. We can be in a sympathetic or a parasympathetic state. Sympathetic is survival, fight, flight, freeze. Parasympathetic, chill, rest, digest, process, grow. And when we are being stressed out, when we are feeling anxious, when we're having a panic attack, we are in a survival mode. What we want to do is to go back to that chill state, because the survival mode is useful if we need it to survive. So if you are being attacked by someone or something, you have to be in that state to run away from that danger. So that would be very useful. But if you go into survival mode because you have anxiety, because you are worried about things that are not here, they're just in your head, then you are going to be in a state of survival that were not meant to be for a long period of time. But if you spend hours, days, month, lifetime like that, now you are exhausting your body and your mind, and it's going to create a lot of problems over time. And so by breathing mindfully, what we're going to do, we're going to tell our body that I want to go back from sympathetic to parasympathetic. So our body is very intelligent. It's got a lot of systems in place, and the breath is the easiest way to go from survival to chill. How does it work? Whenever you need to go into survival mode, you need to experience shallow breathing. You're literally mechanically, physiologically switching your body to be in that state where your blood is going to be on in your muscles, ready to jump, to fight, to run away. You're going to experience tunnel vision, zoom into the danger, the threat. And we do this when we're breathing in more than we are breathing out. So when we do the opposite, it does the opposite. If you can breathe out for a longer time than we breathe in, then we're literally telling the nerves in our body that we are trying to do the opposite. So as we are breathing out for a longer time than we breathe in, so I'm going to demonstrate a few times here. And so forth and so on, just like that. All we need to do is to breathe in through the belly, and then not through the chest, otherwise we're going to hyperventilate. Breathe in through the body, hold it a little bit, and then allow for the air to come out without forcing it with our pursed lips, and make sure that the breathing out is longer than the breathing in. Eventually your body's intelligence will understand that you are trying to go from here to there. And so eventually you will physiologically relax. So whenever you feel anxious, whenever you are very angry, overwhelmed, whenever you have a panic attack, do this. Breathe mindfully. Count the breath and breathe out for a longer time than you breathe in. And eventually, after 10, 20, 50 breaths, after 5 minutes, it may take 15 minutes, half an hour, it doesn't matter. Whatever state that you are in, if you can breathe out for longer than you breathe in and repeat that cycle again and again, you will come back to a place of peace and mental clarity. So this is what mindful breathing does. It's very important. It's a very, very important tool that all of us therapists teach our clients. And people don't realize how powerful it is. It's so simple. but it really, really makes a difference. Some of my clients have helped them with some panic attacks on the telephone just by doing this. And it does work for every single person. As long as you keep doing it, as long as you do it properly, and you do it until you feel better. So that's what mindful breathing, that's how it benefits you. Angela Ramsey, I'm joining at 22 minutes in. You may have said, but I'd love to hear your background. What sort of background would you want? We are all multidimensional, so there are many ways to look at myself. What do you mean? What sort of things would you like to know about myself? I can give you a brief idea of who I am within the context of what I do. And so I had a lot of problems all of my life. I was diagnosed with bipolar in my early 20s. I have been through all sort of trauma, and I suspect, obviously, having CPTSD, but also ADHD and borderline personality disorder. I've been homeless on and off from a very young age. I was addicted to class A drugs and alcohol up to the age of 38. I was very angry, I was very miserable, I was living in fear and rage constantly. So I was a very different person. And then somehow I changed more and more so to the point where I was able to stop the alcohol and the drugs and start a new life, starting to fix my body and then fix my mind furthermore. And ever since, I've been gathering as many tools that I could to help others. And so I've been a therapist myself for 8 years now. I'm 55. I started in 2017, and my titles are clinical hypnotherapist and RTT therapist. So there you go. I'm now teetotal, happy, fulfilled. I've got a purpose. I'm married to a beautiful man. We've been together for 20 years now. And so my life is very, very good now. But I've been through hell, like so many of us, for the first 38 years of my life. And so this is pretty much my story. There's a lot of details that we can explore, but it's essentially me saying that no matter how bad we are, no matter how desperate it seems, we can all change and get better. Not everyone will. It's not a promise, it's not a guarantee, but it is possible. And this is what matters the most. Everything is possible. Nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed, but everything is possible. And so if you suffer from depression, anxiety, addiction, anger, stress, trauma, any of those things, we can all change in some capacity, gradually more and more so every day. And I am the example for this, and so are so many of my clients that I look after all week long. So that's my story. Reborn. Does a healthy functioning brain support organs in the body, like liver, etc., or there is no connection? Yes, of course. So your brain is in charge of everything that is happening in your body. However, your brain is not in charge, it's not the only one part of you that is in charge. We have intelligence in our bodies as well. So within which capacity, I don't know. This is not within my scope of knowledge. But I do know that we have neurons not only in our brain, but also in our gut, in our spine. We have different kind of brain, if you wish, in your body. You have a lot of intelligence in your body. And so what you want to do is to not think about the brain, the heart, the organs, and this or that. You want to think about yourself as a whole. You are an ecosystem with many centers of intelligence, and you want to do your best to address all of them by having a lifestyle, by having an environment, by having some habits that are going to serve your well-being and for all of yourself to be operational together. All those components work together. So see yourself holistically, no matter what you need to address, and know that you have more than enough intelligence in the whole of your body, including your brain, to overcome and grow from everything. I hope this answers your question, Reborn. Angela, re-meditation. I don't think if alone finding some typical kinds of meditation and can feel fear-inducing, but some non-typical meditation is fine. Example, a meditation walk, thoughts. So I'm not sure what I understand, but I'm going to get some more comment because it's a bit scattered from my brain to understand. The different type of meditation were all different and we change all the time. So nothing is this or that. Nothing is just this or that, black or white, right or wrong. It's about understanding that we are multifaceted, we are multi-layered, we are multidimensional. And so what it means is that we need to find what sort of meditation indeed works for us best at this point in time in our life. We're all different. And so if you like walking meditation, great. Some people may prefer other things, and it's okay. Right? There's not one type of meditation that is better than another. There's, however, a type of meditation that is better for you at this point in time in your journey. And so, following my answer. And also, I'm not sure what you mean by I don't think if alone. But here's the thing. I don't know if that's what you meant. But if we look at any of our problems, we need to realize that, again, we are multi-layered. And so nothing happens because of one reason. Things are always happening because of this and that and that and that. All those things happening at the same time in this moment. And the next moment is different again. And so the more we understand the bigger picture, the more we can implement different protocols to address that problem from different angles and create a better system for us, bespokingly and specifically, tailored to our needs. I hope it makes sense. Mind Fit Evolution. I didn't leave my home in 2 years. Now I have to come back to work outside. I am petrified. Your thoughts. And thanks. Okay, let's talk about this. I didn't leave my home in 2 years. Okay, so that's a tricky one. Now I have to come back to work outside. So basically, it's normal that you feel like that. If you haven't been out for a long time, it also implies that you have a propensity for avoiding the crowd. So maybe you have some sort of social anxiety, something like that, or some level of depression, perhaps. And so, or maybe you are neurodivergent, or maybe it's all of those things and more. And so, whatever that it is, when people are not leaving their home for a long period of time, the first thought that I have is that there's a reason as to why they do this. Because it's not necessarily normal. Some people would, no matter what happened to them, keep going outside, meeting people, seeing their friends, interacting with society. But if we don't, it means that there's already a discrepancy between us and society. Now, secondary to that, so we put that aside, propensity, but also we need to realize that whatever we repeat, we reinforce. And so if we do something more, we become better at it. Conversely, if we do something less, we will become better at not doing it. Our brain is very, very efficient. So it only retain what we repeat. And so if you don't go out, you need to lose over time all of your social skills. And if you had some propensity to be wary about people, crowd, noise, society, judgment, perhaps, or the fear of failure, or whatever it may be, then those things will have been reinforced over time as well. And so it's not catastrophic. It's just that you have reinforced a habit that is the habit of feeling safe at home and unsafe outside home. So what you need to do is to gradually reintroduce the old habits that you had from the past. You did it before. So they are part of your brain, but still have those memories, and all you need to do is to switch them back on and reinforce the synapses, the connection between your neurons that are to do with those thoughts, with those habits, with those emotional states. And so my advice would be for you to gradually expose yourself to the idea of being outside and remind yourself through visualization, thinking about it. It's going to be fine. I've done this before. Play in your mind when you used to go out and when it was easy for you to go out. Play in your mind, replay in your mind all those times when it was normal for you to be out and to talk to people and to interact with the world. And as you do that, your brain will start to remember. So do it more and more through meditation. And as you go out, also, don't force yourself into something that is too deep. Do it gradually. Expand your comfort zone gradually. You may not have the time to be at peace by the time you have to go to work, but do the best that you can to be in a state where you are reminding yourself, I'm safe, I'm good, it's normal, it's okay, I can do this, I have done this before, I'm just going to remember how to do this. It's an old skill that I need to be reminded of. That's it. It's very easy. And so I'm not saying that it's easy, but tell yourself that it is easy. And those are the sort of things that I would suggest you to do at this point in time, just based on what I have read. yourself, because we're all very different. And there's no single advice that I could give to anyone, to everyone. These are just general thoughts I have based on that. But you may have some history, some conditions that are making the situation different. So if you want to tell me more about yourself, I'm more than happy to explore that subject with you. Reborn. Some people hold on to well-paying jobs, sacrificing their mental well-being. Is it worth to do so? And why would someone want to suffer? So people are not aware of that. We just do what we believe is the right thing to do at this point in time. That's it. So when people are working for money, that's because in their mind it is the priority. It is the one most important thing in the world, and maybe for them at this point in time it is. As soon as we are in a better place financially, if I've created a system, a career that is stable, then we can realize, I don't need to sacrifice my health for this. I don't need to sacrifice my relationship with my family, with my kids, or with my spouse for that. And maybe we can find different ways to create more abundance without so much hardship, so much stress. And then we can start to create some balance. But what we need to do is to address our priority and our mindset. And so you know this, and that's why to you it doesn't make sense. But to the vast majority of us at the start of life, the first priority is to make money to survive. If we come from a place of poverty, right? If you come from a place of abundance, if your family was always rich and you never needed anything, you won't do that, right? But many people, including myself, were born in a place where money was hard to get. And so because of that, people like us will have that natural propensity to really focus, because we don't want to be homeless, we don't want to be with no roof and no food. And so it's the rat race, essentially. And so to answer your question, it's not a good thing to do, but sometimes that's what we know, that's all we know, and that's our priority. And hopefully people who are in the state, I wish them to open their eyes sooner than later and to realize that indeed your health and your happiness right here, right now is more important than anything else. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Reborn. Ryan Squires, how do you recover from school bullying in your early childhood? Okay, so it depends on how it has affected you. Generally speaking, when it comes to bullying, we would have been traumatized. So you want to address the trauma, as in address the habit that you have as an adult because of what happened to us in childhood, happened to you in childhood. So I've been bullied as well. So when we have been traumatized, we are in a constant state of hypervigilance. We are paranoid. We don't trust anyone. We are negatively biased. We're looking for the worst possible outcome just to be ready if it happens again. And also, we have a very low self-esteem. We have a very low sense of worth because we have been bullied. And so we have developed the idea that we were not enough. We deserved that. We couldn't deal with that situation, and we believe that about ourselves now. So that's another way to look at ourselves. We want to essentially upgrade our sense of identity. And so to go back to your question, if you have suffered from bullying, if you've been traumatized by it, seek professional help to address the symptoms of the trauma. If you still have nightmares every night and you're waking up like that, like I have been myself for many, many decades until I changed, waking up full of sweat, with your heart racing, then you want to address the trauma with some professional help, if you can, ideally. If you don't have access to help, you can learn how to practice mindfulness, meditation. You can read books and understand more about your mind and about the nature of trauma. There's a lot of material out there that you can find online, in Google, everywhere, anywhere, in libraries. But the one thing that I would say is that if you have been bullied, there's one thing that you can do right here, right now, is to realize that you are no longer the child that you once were. And so in the way you see yourself and the way you interact with people, remind yourself that you are a grown-up now. You're an adult. You have intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, resources. You have imagination, intuition. You have freedom. You have a lot of things that you can use to deal with any situation. So what it means is that you don't want to see yourself like a bullied person anymore. Because as long as we do that, we will not only suffer from anxiety and depression, but also will allow for more bullies into our lives to keep bullying us. And this happens very, very often. If we don't upgrade our sense of self, we're going to only invite even, and attract the people in our life that fit the narrative that we have about ourselves. So if I see myself like a prey, I will attract the predators. So that's something for you to think about. But essentially, my answer to you will depend on how you are suffering from having been bullied in the past, to which level of intensity, how does it express in your life. If you can tell me more about this, we can go in more depth into that direction. Ryan. If not, just based on what you say in that sentence, this is my answer to you. Okay? Give me liberty. I talk about the war crimes and sinister actions of Israel. Okay, okay. So if you want to ask me questions in regards to that and psychology, I'm more than happy to explain to you why people do that, why some people are horrible to others, why some people believe in some sort of things. It's a huge topic. I am myself pro-humanity. And so I believe in the liberation of the people of Palestine. I believe in helping people who need help. And so that would be my political stance. However, from a professional perspective, because I'm a therapist, I also understand why people are the way they are. And so I understand why people who are promoting the propaganda do that. We can talk about this. I don't judge people because I can see the humanity, the potential behind the behavior. A lot of people don't realize that they are living in a state of trauma, and that affects their perception of the world and their whole reality altogether. So if you want to ask me some questions about that topic, I'm happy to do that. But I will always talk about this from a psychological perspective, so I can explain why, if you are interested about that. Give me liberty. It's me. How do I relax before a concert? What do you mean? Are you a performer? Or are you someone who attend concert and somehow have some anxiety, maybe because you are surrounded by a lot of people? Which one is it? Are you a performer? I'm going to assume this. So, if you, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not going too long on this because it may not be what you're saying. But if you're a performer and you have the stage fright, if you have anxiety before you play, you can change your mindset. You want to, instead of thinking, how am I coming across? How are they going to find what I do? What are they going to think of me? When you do this, you are seeing things from their perspective. You're imagining all sort of things, and then you're going to create more tension, more fear. They're judging me. Shift this around and focus on you. I am the performer. What am I going to give them? How am I going to deliver this? I trust them. I'm here to give you something to perform. And so now you have brought back the power within you. Instead of worrying about what they think, you're thinking about what am I going to do in this moment? How am I going to shine? How am I going to enjoy what I'm doing? All those hours practicing my stuff. Now is for me time to shine and to show them my talent. And so you change that mindset, and as you do that, it will be easier, right? I can't talk more about this again, but I need you to confirm that it is indeed what you want from me. CHS, what's worse, ACL, tear, or Negro? You get me to say that word, it's terrible. You made me say a racist word, and because I'm naive, I just said it. But it's very, very, very unkind what you do. It's not clever, and I understand that you do it because maybe you hurt, maybe you hate your life, you hate yourself, so you need to go online to troll others because it makes you feel a bit better. I understand that. I'm not even belittling you because I used to be the same. I get it. But there's a place and a time for everything. And so please don't do it again. I'm creating a space here to help people with their mental health. If you have a question, if you need some help, do ask. I would love to help you out. But please don't do those things, at least not here. I'm going to ignore everything that you have written, unless it's a genuine question about your mental health, okay? Um, Tizian Ferber, what was the trophy in the bag for? Oh, those trophies are um, powerlifting trophies. I used to compete at a national level in the sport of powerlifting, and I won a few times, and that's what they are for. So I'm not competitive. I don't care about winning, but I like them a lot because I used to be a drug addict and an alcoholic for 38 years of my life, and so I used to be a zombie, blue, no coordination, always feeling ill, sick all the time, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I was a mess, and somehow I've changed, and I transformed so much that something happened to me. I'm not going to talk about it today, but I transformed. I had an epiphany around 2008/2009, and after that, I went total, and I started to look after myself physically first because I was a wreck. And within a couple of years, I become champion by accident. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I was learning how to become a strength and conditioning coach, and within that, I need to practice things. And so I've practiced the sport of powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, and different stuff. And as part of my learning this, I competed. But I never took this seriously. But somehow, I mean, I never did it to win. I did it because I wanted the knowledge so that I could help others. But then somehow, one day, as I was competing, my coach told me, congratulations, you won the first place. You're the strongest bloke in the whole of the country in your category. And to me, that was mind-blowing. I didn't believe it at first because the way I saw myself is that all my life, I saw myself like a zombie. Um, what I always say is that I used to have the physical, mental, and emotional strength of any in the house and walk away and think I'm the strongest bloke in my category. So that's why those are important to me. Not because I want to inflate my ego as in, oh, I'm better than others. It's more to say that anyone can get there, no matter the past, the situation, their baggage. So there you go. Tizian Wim Hof. I don't understand. Are you referring to Wim Hof? We can talk about Wim Hof if you want. Angela, Didi, how you came to be doing this line of work? So I'll just explain it. I've been through a lot of things myself, and basically I spent my life trying to better myself whenever I could, because very often I couldn't. Mentally, I was in such dark places that I tried to unalive myself many times, and so I was not always in that state of mind. But because we fluctuate, whenever I was, then I would do my best to do something about it, to change it, to make it better. And eventually, life has been kind to me, and I've been given some opportunities to see things, to understand things, to grab chances and opportunities, and to grow. And it took me 38 years. And then, that's it. Ever since I have changed, I first looked after my body. I became a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach. And then I specialized in sport performance. And as I was looking for, as I was looking after some athlete in combat sport, I realized that there was something called mindset. So I studied that to help them with the sport. But then I realized very quickly that mindset was bigger than just sport performance. And so I decided to develop that, and I became a mindset coach. However, I was missing out on something very important. I didn't know anything about the subconscious mind, about emotions and feelings. And so I did my research, my studies. I came across Marisa Peer. I learned from her and I became an RTT therapist, and I learned all about the subconscious mind, and now I have been a therapist for 8 years. So basically everything that I've done was originally because I wanted to know it for me first. But as a result of this, since I was able to change myself with those tools, I was also able to use the same tools to help others. I love helping others. I really love my work. I'm obsessed with what I do. But I'm practicing what I preach, in the sense that we must do things first for ourselves, because we can only give what we own. And so, although I love being of service to others, I'm not doing this for others. I'm doing it for me, because it makes me happy and grateful to be able to do what I do. Right? Me, a very important part of my conversation is that there's no place for self-righteousness. I don't believe in the goody do-gooders. Leave a legacy, be of service to others. No, 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 F all of that. Just do things that feel right for you. And as you heal yourself, as you're in a better place, as your energy is higher, then you can impact everyone around you, whether you want it or not, in a more positive way. That's it. Angela, I didn't mean to pry, and thank you for your candor. All right, it's all right, thank you. Michelle Auchar, my respect for you grows every time I listen to you. Thank you so much, Michelle. That's very kind of you. Ask me something if you want. Mugzed, I appreciate your kindness and honesty. Thank you, Mugzed. Reborn, I realized that when you talk about yourself, it's always transparent and sincere. Have you always been like that? No, I have not. I've been like that since I have learned how to be authentic and transparent and vulnerable and myself. I was the opposite. So when you suffer from all sorts of conditions, you are on a state of survival. You need to protect yourself. So just like everyone else, I used to pretend to be someone else. I was obsessed with trying to be loved and accepted and seen by others by any means. I would say anything. I had no personality. I would pretend, I would lie, I would exaggerate, I would amplify anything just to make sure that people find me interesting and want to spend time with me and saw me and remember me. I was obsessed because I was starting, I was scared, and that's the systems that we have. And so I was very dishonest. I was very negative. And this is normal, because when we suffer from trauma and we have some conditions, it's the only ways we know how to survive this world. Until we realize that there are other ways. And that's how we start our healing journey. And we become something else. Nishay Parik, hello man, hello Nishay. Angela Ramsey, hi Didi. It was a typo, should have. I don't think I'm alone in thinking. Your feedback was helpful anyway. Okay. Mindfit evolution, wonderful. I'm glad I asked. Fantastic, thank you, Mindfit. Rishab, what? It's me. Yes, I perform concert. Okay, so this is it. If you have the stage fright, I used to be a musician myself. I came to London as a guitarist in a rock band in 1993. Gosh, more than 50 years ago. And so we can talk about this. So what I used to do, you want to visualize when you are rehearsing. What we used to do, me and my mates, we used to rehearse in the garage of one of my friends. And we'd be facing a lot of stuff, like pots of paintings, whatever that is in the garage. Hey, and I would visualize that there are a bunch of English people, because I was doing it in France. We prepared ourselves to come to London and play in London. And so I would visualize a bunch of, as we call it in French, a roast beef. And it's just silly. It's just because the way French people, and it's very derogatory and discriminatory, and I shouldn't say that, but just to again, say what comes out of my head. French people used to believe that most English people have a very pale complexion. So as soon as the sun is out, they turn pink, and they end up looking like roast beef. So, les roast beef. So anyway, I was visualizing a bunch of roast beef in front of me, playing guitar, and as I did that, that became my visual, and I became acquainted, familiar with that. And my first gig, it was on Sunday night in a full room in a place called the Borderline in Soho. So I don't know, 500 people capacity. I had some sort of things in my video saying, this is stage fright. But it wasn't. It's just because I had too much beer too quick, because that's how they paid us. They paid us with a bucket full of beer to support whatever acts were coming after us. But then I realized that as soon as I played guitar, my first riff, bang, I felt like home. Because suddenly I could see all the roast beef. I'm not. I have to stop saying this. But but essentially, because I have practiced it in my mind, it was like being at home. So you visualize yourself, and also I was focused on myself. So this is the thing, because I was visualizing British people watching me, I was not focusing about what they think of me. It was me being the star of the show. And it's the same thing with you. When you play, think about, I'm going to give them something. I'm going to finally display all those many, many hours of work, and I'm going to enjoy this. So that will help you with your stage fright. And I apologize for the English people. I'm going to stop, I promise you, from today, I'm going to stop saying this. Monica said hi. Hello. Mick H. Message retracted. Anyone? Any more questions? I'm coming to the end of the thread for the first time tonight. Just so you know, I've been away, and also I was very, very busy the previous week, so I haven't been on YouTube for the last 2 weeks or even more. However, I'm back now, so I will make sure that I come back every week at least once on Saturday, and maybe more if I have the energy and the time for that, just so you know. And I also go live on TikTok. So if you use both platforms, by any means, please subscribe and follow me on both. The difference between TikTok and YouTube is that the videos on YouTube, they stay on my profile. So if you ask me anything, you can always replay it. Whereas on TikTok, it doesn't stay. However, on TikTok, it's more spontaneous. So I can come out anytime, any day, whenever I feel like it. Generally speaking, YouTube will be on Saturday. Sometime on Saturday. And I don't even know the time, depending on my schedule, but it's always fluctuating. However, I would know on the Saturday morning. So if you have subscribed to my channel and you want to join my live, just check Saturday morning what time I have scheduled the live. So today is 8 o'clock, but I aim at doing it earlier. Today I was too busy, but in the afternoon generally. UK time. MindFit Evolution. I enjoy listening to you today. Thanks for being live. Thank you so much, MindFit Evolution. Mick H. What's the gold face behind your head? It's Buddha. It's one of the representation of Buddha. Michelle, how do I learn that it is okay to say no when someone asks me to do something? I always feel like I should say yes because they thought of me. Okay. So very often we create a sense of self, and that sense of self is going to believe that we need to do certain things in order to stay safe. And so if we can't say no, if we can't set boundaries, if we can't put ourselves first, we are people pleaser. And that is often the result of either having been abused or neglected in childhood. So for instance, if someone is abusing us, one of the ways we can survive that is to comply and to go along with it. So fight, flight, freeze, phone. Phone is people pleasing. Now, this is one case. Without being abused, there are another reason as to why people end up being people pleasers. That's because they believe that they can only get attention, love, and care if they behave in a certain way. Be a good boy, be a good girl, do this, do that. And so, in the end, we realize that as a child, unconditional love is not available to us. It's a big deal because if we don't have unconditional love, it means that we're not always protected by our caregivers. We're not always safe. So we need to do our utmost to be seen, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be celebrated. We need to make them proud. And so as a result of that, we're going to always say yes for this to happen. And so that is one of the very common reasons as well as to why we end up people-pleasing and not being able to say no. So how do you fix that? By realizing that you don't need to do this anymore. Ask yourself, why do I do this? I want to do this. No, you don't want to do this. Your head tells you I should say it tells you to say, to comply, but your heart is telling you, I don't want to. So what you want to do is to realize that you are feeling the discrepancy between your two minds, because there's still a part of you that wants to protect you, that wants to make sure that people see you and love you, and so that it can help you regulate your nervous system. Which is the reason as to why we do so many things. We don't realize this. Everything we do is to essentially regulate how we feel. And so when you have to say no, practice it like a new skill. Put yourself first. Remind yourself, my happiness comes first. I used to do that because XYZ, but I don't need to do that anymore. Learn how to gradually set boundaries. It's a skill that needs to be reinforced over time. It's not easy when we spend our life saying yes to everybody. I'm not sure. I'm sure that there are a lot of different ways. I don't have them in mind. I'm a bit tired today. There are actually a lot of systems that I could teach you to make it easier for you. But I would need to know you for that to happen. When I work with people, I know more about them. So I've got those things that boom, fall into place then. But essentially, if you find it difficult to say no to someone, remind yourself that the reason why it's hard is just because in the past it was the only way for you to be seen and to feel accepted and loved. Now remind yourself, I don't need to do that. But again, it's a tricky one. You know what? Tell me more about yourself, Michel. I want to help you and I can, but I need to know more about yourself before I can say anything. I'm hitting a little bit of a roadblock, gridlock. Remind yourself that you can only give what you own, but also the way you behave with people are going to create your reality. So the more you are passive, submissive, complying, saying yes to everyone, despite not wanting to say yes, the more you're going to basically be unkind to yourself. You're hurting your own self. And as you do that, I want you to realize that if you're unkind to yourself, it's because some other people have been unkind to you in the past. And the voice, the belief that you have of yourself because of them, still lives inside of your head. And so as long as you do this, you are basically allowing for your bullies from the past to keep bullying you. So even just that could be a motivation for you to stop doing this and realize that's enough. Enough is enough. It's time for me now to practice self-care, self-love, because I deserve it. And then start with something like, I would love to do this for you, but I've got something else. I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Bye. And eventually, you get to the point where you can say no. It's the hardest thing to do. Just no. With no explanation, no justification. Nope. But if you can do this, then it means that you have healed from those things from the past. Does it make sense? Does it help at all, Michel? I have always felt like I needed to please everyone. Yes, so this is what I meant indeed. Since I was a child, never wanting to let anyone down, and I don't know why. Always straight A. Okay. It's because the meaning, I mean, I don't know precisely why it is for you, but at general level, it's because you believe that if you are not like that, you won't be loved, you won't be seen, you won't be accepted, you won't feel safe. That's it. So tell yourself, am I safe? Yes, I am. So I can say no and say no. In school honors, in college, yes, because your parents probably wanted you to succeed, so they told you you have to be better, you have to be perfect, you have to win, you have to be the best. And ever since you have created those associations. For me to be loved, I have to do all those things. I can't be loved just for who I am. If I'm not working hard, if I'm lazy, then I'm bad and I won't get love. If I fail, then I'm not going to be good enough. And this is a trap. This is a poison. This is what we want to get out of. We want to stop believing that we all deserve unconditional love, all of us, just by virtue of us existing. We don't need to do anything to prove this. And we need to remind us of that and start to shift that by gradually prioritizing yourself. Do it in a way that is comfortable for you, but expand your your boundaries. Michelle, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. You have made me felt heard in just a few minutes. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm glad. I'm going to practice some of this. Fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. You're not the only one. You have the courage to speak up about it today here. But a lot of us, we do that, and we don't even want to think about it. We have so much shame and guilt, and all those things again are stuff that we have been conditioned to believe. Shame is not a real thing. It's pointless. It's poison. It creates illness and mental and emotional imbalance. And so, yeah. Wiggers, speak more about establishing boundaries, please. Okay? So there are also different ways we can talk about it. But if you don't tell me a specific context, I'm going to answer you at a general level. And so boundaries is about creating a space between you and someone else where you are both safe. So it's not just about you. It's about the two of you. You need to create a neutral zone like Switzerland. And that zone has got some rules. And so the way it goes is like that. This is who I am. This is what I expect from you. And this is what I would do as well. But if you don't comply to those rules, I will do that. And so this is very important. Setting boundaries doesn't mean I don't like this. Stop doing it. It means if you keep doing this, I will do that. It's about what you're going to do. And then, very importantly, you must apply the boundaries. And so first, set the boundaries by telling them, if you keep doing this, if you keep trying to gaslight me, if you keep talking to me like that, I'm not going to speak to you until the end of the day, or something like that. We're not going to be friends anymore. They continue, because they're testing you, unless they have emotional intelligence, right? In which case they will stop. But if they don't care about you, if they're always trying to manipulate you, if you have no empathy for your feelings, then apply it. Do what you said you would do. And that's when they will learn. And if they don't learn, at least you're away from them. So this is what setting boundaries is about. It's about you telling them what you're going to do and then taking the actions. You don't expect them to do anything at all. You just tell them what you are going to do. And as you do that, you are not only creating a better life for yourself, because you are not going to suffer toxic people any longer unnecessarily, but you're also changing how you see yourself. As you're learning how to set boundaries, you're learning how to be more confident. You're learning how to care for yourself. I deserve that. I am worthy of being happy, of being with people that love me. So I don't need those sort of people in my life. And the more you do this, the more you will change the way you see yourself, and the more you will start to attract the right people in your life. And so, there you go. Does it help? Is it what you meant to ask, Wiggers? Wiggers, thank you, but I find it difficult with family. So the reason why it's hard with family is because they have created a dynamic with you and them that was based on not respecting boundaries. And so with them, you feel that it's impossible to do because it's the actual emotional dynamic that you have always known with them. So it feels like if you set the boundaries, you may come across as rude, you may come across as unreasonable. And this is what they will tell you. But if you feel that you must set the boundaries, set them. It's never too late, not too soon, to start something new. And so you want to create some new emotional habits, dynamics with them. Tell them, that's enough. You know what? This has been ongoing all of our life. I can't deal with it anymore. It's too hard. So I'm going to tell you now, I want this to change. Otherwise, I'm going to do that. And then do it. And then come back the next day, tell them, okay, let's try again and see what happens. You must do this. If you don't do this, nothing is going to change. One thing that can help you with your family, I can give you tips. You find it difficult because every time that you're going to see any member of your family, you're going to see them from the position you have always been looking at them. And so, for instance, let's say, if it's your parents, let's say your mum or your dad, and they've always been very, very, or your auntie, you will be looking at them from the position of the child that you once were. So in that moment, you see an adult that is powerful, that is overpowering. And because of that, it's going to be very difficult for you to go against their authority. So what you want to do is to change that perspective. See them as they are today. They're not the mighty parents. They are old people who are human, and they have quality and they have flaws like anyone else. And when you look at them like that, look at yourself also. You are no longer a child. You are a grown-up. You can speak out your truth. You have a voice. You have intelligence. You have imagination. And so now you are balancing the dynamic, and it's going to be easier for you to say to them what you want to tell them. See them like little old people who've been through all sorts of things in life, and there's something that you like about them, and some other things that you don't like about them, but they're not your parents, they're just people. And that will help you see yourself and themselves through the lenses of reality, as opposed to through the lenses of, they're so much more powerful than me, I can never say anything against them because they're huge. No, they're probably shorter than you now. Because they're your parents. If that's your parents, if it's your siblings, it's the same thing. Instead of looking at them like you were a child, so you don't know how to deal with that. Now you're grown up. They're just people at the same level as you. And you can absolutely use your own freedom and intelligence and imagination and intuition to deal with anything. And so by changing the perspective that you have of them and the perspective that you have of yourself, that will make it easier on you to set boundaries. That's it. Does it help? Does it make sense, Wiggles? That's great advice. Fantastic. Thank you. Very much appreciated. It's my twin. I have a problem. Ah, all right. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I never had this. Okay. So do you want to tell me more about what is going on between you and your twin? If you want to set boundaries with your twin because they are trespassing your peace, don't see them like your twin anymore. See them like just another person. Because as long as you see them as your twin, they know that you have a unique bond. And so they're going to take advantage of that. There's no one that knows you like your twin and vice versa. Because you're twins. But just look at them like a regular person and get them to understand this. Whatever privilege that they have in mind because of the nature of your relationship doesn't work anymore. You're an adult, you're tired, you want something different, and you're going to make sure that you tell them that. Pavel, hello. Pratham, are you a counselor? I am a therapist and coach. So my titles are clinical hypnotherapist and RTT therapist. I've been doing it for 8 years. So I'm not a psychologist or counselor, but I utilize some protocols of therapy and hypnotherapy to help people. And so because of that, I had to learn a great deal about human psychology. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm sharing my knowledge in the hope that they may help some of you. I'm a French. I don't call myself French, but technically I am. I was born in Paris. My passport is French. My culture is French. But I never saw myself as a French person. I've been living in London now for a longer time than I've lived in France. So there you go. Wiggles, you're great. I'm subscribing. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So remember, I will keep coming live every Saturday, at least once a week. And I will always schedule in the morning at what time I'm going to go live. If you have any questions, you can put them in my short videos. I put 3 shorts every day. I intend to create some new long-form videos. The old ones, they're very cringy, right? So forget about the long form. Just watch the shorts if you enjoy what I do. But hopefully, maybe in a couple of weeks or 2-3 weeks, I'll be able to start and resume my production of long-form videos on YouTube as well. Rainy Days. Hello, if you could go back to your high school years, would you change anything? No, I wouldn't change anything. I had a terrible start in life. And my childhood, my teenagehood, my young adulthood were very, very, very traumatic, painful, excruciating. However, I wouldn't change anything about it because this is me. As in, it's my story, it's my journey, it's my evolution. And the person that I am today is the result of everything that happened to me. And so if I wanted to change something from the past, it would imply that I'm not happy with myself now. And I am. I am generally happy with everything that happened to me, even the most horrible stuff. Because now I managed to turn this around and I can use my own experience to help other people who are going through the same situations. And so in that sense, I don't regret and I don't want to change anything at all. Did I have a good life? No, it was terrible. It was very, very painful for 38 years. But I'm 55 now and I've changed a lot and it was absolutely worth it, despite everything, because it taught me so much about myself. So, there you go. Yeah. Often people ask me, what sort of things would you tell yourself, your younger self? And so if I had one advice, just one, that would be, keep going, things get better. Rainy Days, I'm glad you were able to look forward to the future, even when you started out rough. I wasn't. Here's the thing, it depends. Yes and no. We fluctuate in state, and so there are times where I couldn't, but there are times where I could. And this is the same with everyone. No matter how much depression or anxiety or addiction or shame you are going through, we all fluctuate. And that's the thing. When I was down, as I was saying before, I tried to unalive myself many, many times. I was really, really in a horrible place. I used to suffer. I used to hate myself. I used to cry. I used to be angry all the time against everything, against the world, against myself, against people. It was constant. However, even in that constant, there was some little fluctuation. And there has been every now and then some moments of clarity where I was still able to be driven by my intuition and by my survival instinct. But it was really, really a tiny little voice compared to the noise of negativity that I was drowning in all my life. So we're all different, but we don't choose to be happy or not. We don't choose to be positive or not. We're just trying our best all the time. Everyone is always doing their best. This is what is quite hard to grasp for so many of us. Everything that we do is the result of what have happened to us up to this point. So we don't choose our upbringing, our origins, our culture, or trauma, or any of those things. So whatever that we do, regardless of how much it's judged by society, we never do it on purpose. That's it. But thank you for the comments, Rainy Days. Mindfit Evolution, there's a heart emoji with some flames. Wiggers, you seem so chilled out. How did you deal with the anger? The anger is not an entity. The anger is it's a system that we put into place to survive life. And so for me, anger was my fight response when I was on survival mode. Again, I've got all sorts of conditions, but amongst them, borderline personality disorder and ADHD get me to get angry a lot. So how did I address it? By addressing my problems, my root cause problem, by addressing my root core belief. This is what healing, therapy, self-development, personal growth is all about. It's about changing the way we look at reality and ourselves in it. And as we do that, our reality change. And it's something that happens over a long period of time. It's always a process. Our whole life is a process, as in a journey of evolution. And so, yeah. I still have some moments of anger because it's normal. Anger is just an emotion. It exists for a reason. But the anger that I have now is nowhere near what I used to have, and it's very, very rare. And whenever it happens, I can address it, process it, and let it go very quickly, as opposed to making it worse and make it last forever. We do this by learning about the mechanics of our own mind and how to upgrade that system, one belief at a time. Thank you for the comment, Wiggles. To have a sip of coffee. Okay, I'm going to wait maybe a couple of minutes, but if I don't have any question within the space of 2 minutes, I maybe start to think about living the life. But as long as you keep asking, I'm going to answer your questions, okay? Videos, you should have more people in here. Great stuff, thank you so much. Oh, you know, I believe that the right people come at the right time. For me, it's not about, obviously I would be very happy if I had lots of people, and I believe that it will happen at some point. But we do what we can, and I'm happy with whatever I have. And I believe that even if I can touch one person today, that's enough for me. I'm sending that energy out there, and that's all that matters. What matters is not the result. What matters is what I do. And it's the same for everyone. We should focus on what we do, what feels good and right for us, as opposed to trying to get a response, a confirmation that what we're doing is all right. If you use your feelings, your enthusiasm, your joy as a drive, you don't need the outcomes. But thank you for your compliment. It's kind of you. And it's true that I would appreciate it as well. But I'm hugely grateful that there's even one person, that a handful of people like that. You've kept me going for, I don't know, 1.5 hours. So it's all right. And it's very easy. If it's too quiet, I just resume it and I come back some other time. I believe that the right thing happened with the right people at the right time. I really do believe in this. Okay, I'm going to slowly make my exit. So just as a reminder, I'm going to leave that video. If you have talked to me and you want to retrieve some information, you can always replay that video. It's going to be in my live section on my profile on YouTube. I will come back next week for sure, Saturday. And if I can, some other time, I'm not sure. It depends on my schedule and my level of energy. And I will also go live on TikTok, as I always do, mostly in the evening. So if you use TikTok, you can also find me there. I post 3 new shorts on TikTok every day. And I recycle, I repurpose 3 old on YouTube every day as well. There you go. Wiggles, thank you, man. Thank you, Wiggles. I'm going to say goodbye now. I wish you a great day or great evening, wherever that you are in the world. If you need more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my profile to my website. And all you have to do is to, from the website, send me an email to organize a free Zoom discovery call if you want to work with me, and we can decide whether or not we can work together. Other than that, that's it. Let me think. That's it. Be kind to yourself. That's what I want to say. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. Remember that the most important person in your life is not just you, but it's the voice that you have in your head. So the way you speak to yourself essentially is where everything starts. So make sure to talk to yourself in a kind way, as opposed to talking to yourself in an unkind way. Be compassionate to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be forgiving to yourself. We go as hard. Thank you. Okay. So I think I click here.